Hello, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another pick a card reading. In today's reading, we are going to be focusing on the question, or actually, today's reading, we're focusing on messages that Archangel Gabriel has for you at this time. Whenever you are watching this reading, it is meant to be timeless. Now, today's reading is a pick a card, pick a pile, pick a crystal reading. For the first pile, the card we have is Share Your Art with the World. And this is from my Archangel Gabriel Oracle card deck. So this is Archangel Gabriel's message to you if you choose pile number 1. And pile number 1 is paired with this Vanadinite crystal or stone. And then for pile number 2, Archangel Gabriel's message, there's actually two. We have retreat and we have speeches and speaking. And pile number 2 is paired with this quartz, clear quartz crystal. Now, last but certainly not least, we have the Archangel Gabriel message. Deserving. There's actually two for this pile as well. And journaling. And pile number 3 is paired with this rhodonite. I think that's how you pronounce it. Rhodonite. It's rhodonite, I think. Yeah. So pile number 3 is rhodonite. Pile number 2 is clear quartz, and pile number 1 is vanadinite. So if you guys need to pause the video for a moment to meditate on which pile of cards or which oracle card or crystal calls to you the most, you may do so. But we're going to go ahead and jump right on into the reading. I will see you there. Hello, pile number 1 people, those of you who chose the Share Your Art with the World message card from Archangel Gabriel and the Vanadinite crystal. This is going to be a reading. Before we hop into it, we're going to clear the space. We're going to clear our energy, our auric field for a moment here. I feel like I haven't done this in a reading in a very long time. This is meant to transmit some healing energy to you and clear your space wherever you may be watching this reading in the world. Especially since we got the purification here with the Tasmanian devil. We want to make sure our energy is nice and clear. And I just kept getting messages of protection. Okay, so I just heard a release. Okay. I thought that was something in my house, but I just heard a release for somebody. And as I was doing that clearing work, I just kept looking at this Deception in B card, which is a 7 of Swords in traditional tarot deck. And then there's this 8 of Swords paired with it. I feel like there's somebody trying to latch onto your energy, pile number 1, and drain you so that you end up in this 8 of Swords energy where you feel like you have no options, where you feel like you don't have sight where you once did, where you aren't feeling like, because I feel like for some of you guys in this pile, you may be in a situation where you feel like you're running out of options or you don't have any options at all. Okay. Um, and Archangel Gabriel wants you to be aware of a psychic vampire or an energy vampire in your arena, okay, in your vicinity, if you will. Even if it's not physical, they're placing themselves in your energy in some way, shape, or form. I feel like this person is psychically spying on you, pile number 1, and they may even be sending you the evil eye and or doing spell work on you, black magic on you, in order to sabotage things for you. And I got that energy with this Tasmanian devil. it's almost like the energy I was getting when I pulled this card, because I pulled this as a totem animal for you guys. But when I was looking at it, it just kept getting the energy of somebody like this psychic vampire here, just waiting to tear whatever you build down, just waiting to destroy whatever you build for yourself, you know. But what this person doesn't realize, and what Archangel Gabriel is coming through to say, is whatever this person destroys for you is something that wasn't meant for you anyway. And if you guys are resonating with this, you may want to check out the reading How the Weapons Formed Against You Aren't Prospering. I believe it was pile number 2, where it was like people were actively trying to create obstacles for pile number 2 in some way, shape, or form. But what these people weren't realizing was they were just accelerating pile number 2's growth, pushing pile number 2 into doing what it is they were supposed to be doing in the first place, aligning them with their life purpose, if you will. So even these negative people, even these low vibrational karmic energies are serving their purpose to push the chosen ones into their life purpose. So we may see them as new nuisances. We may see them as annoying people who are creating obstacles for us, tower moment after tower moment, whether it's physically them doing something, the gossip, the slander, or doing spell work to destroy things for you that you've built up for yourself. I feel like the important stuff, things that you really want to do, the things that you're taking action on to create a better future for yourself, I feel like those are things you're keeping close to your chest. And these people, because they don't know what those things are, they're not able to attack those things. But they may be able to attack your finances, they may be able to attack your job, your your perception of yourself, right? But these things are happening to create forward momentum. So if you're having issues with the way you're seeing yourself, you're having trouble with um, feeling like there are options for you, all this is doing is forcing you into some sort of shadow work that's long overdue anyway. Pile number 1 is what Archangel Gabriel wants you to be aware of right now. Um, Specifically, they're saying don't fret. And I'm so out of breath as I'm giving this message. So some of you guys, you may be struggling with anxiety. Spirit or Archangel Gabriel wants me to let you guys know that you need to maybe practice some breath work, especially if you're getting yourself into situations or finding yourself in situations where it's very anxiety inducing. Okay, just practice your breath work, and ask for the lesson to be illuminated to you in each situation that you're going through. Now, I want to say too, and I know this is so cliche, you probably heard it a million times, but God gives his toughest battles to his toughest soldiers, right? You ask to be great, right? And there's actually a Erica Badu video I found. It's a short or a reel actually, and she's talking about how she views lessons. Like sometimes we go through things and we perceive it to be bad karma. We must have done something wrong, or even if somebody is actively doing spell work against us to make these to create these obstacles for us, or they're going in our spaces and they're creating problems and making it difficult for us to move forward in the direction we want to move forward in, not necessarily need to move forward in, but want to move forward in, right? She pretty much says, sometimes we go through these obstacles and we perceive it to be bad karma, right? Forgetting that we asked the universe to be great. And a lot of us, when we're asking the universe these things, we don't necessarily know what that path to greatness may look like or entail. Okay. And a lot of times it involves going, see, I was going to say growing through some tumultuous times, some uneasy times, trusting the unknown, trusting God when we don't see a way forward, where we don't see light. Okay. Where we are trapped in this darkness and unable to see a way out of these self-created limitations and beliefs, right? Sometimes I'm hearing sometimes it's time to just let go. Sometimes it's time to just let things fall to the wayside, and not necessarily just allow your life to go to crap, but let go of the need to control the situation entirely. Let go of the need to control the narrative, and just let the pieces fall where they may. Of course, act where you feel called to act where you can comfortably act, but don't stress where you can't do anything. Okay. Those are situations and circumstances that you aren't meant to be able to change anyway, because if God, source creator, wanted you to have the authority or the power to change certain things, they would certainly grant it to you. Okay. It wouldn't be so difficult. And it's up to us to discern the difference, where we need to apply more effort and where we need to just fall back. Okay. Now, I feel like that was a deep message, and I wanted to open each of these readings with this information. Oh my goodness. Information on, let me grab that. Information on, why can't I remember what I was going to do here? Oh, information on this particular crystal here, this Vanadinite. When I was taking Reiki courses, my Reiki instructor, she mentioned this stone, and she's actually the reason why I have this stone, funny enough, because I had never heard of it prior to meeting her and being in her classes. But she said she used Vanadinite. She created, or she wrote the book Own Your Power. Her name is Alicia Alice Jones, if you want to look that book up. I don't have it with me. It's in my car, actually, because I usually take the book. I do a lot of, what do you call it when you just flip books to random pages and just read it and see if it resonates with you for that day. It's a form of divination, if you will, or connecting with God. That's what divination is. But she said that, it took her years and years and years to finally finish that book. But what pushed her over to the edge and like really helped her complete it was working with this Vanadinite stone. So with this share your art with the world, I feel like there is a specific message in this, you choosing this stone. Pile number one, but I'm going to read a little bit from this book. You can skip through it if you want, but here it says Vanadinite is an excellent stone for people who have problems accepting their physicality. It has a strong connection with the earth chakra and the earth body beneath the feet, grounding the soul into the physical body and assisting it being comfortable in the earth environment. Vanadinite guards against squandering energy and teaches you how to conserve energy at the physical level. Vanadinite is an aid to meditation. Shutting off mind chatter, it can facilitate a state of mind. Shutting off mind chatter, it can facilitate a state of no mind, or be used to direct awareness consciously for psychic vision and journeying. It has the power to open an internal channel within the body to receive an inflooding of universal energy. This energy aligns the chakras and brings the higher self into the physical body, facilitating a deep inner peace. Mentally, Vanadinite fills the gap between thought and intellect. It assists in defining and pursuing goals and shuts off mind chatter, allowing insight and rational thought to combine in an inner voice of guidance. This stone has the useful property of curbing overspending. Place in the wealth corner of the house or put a small piece in your purse to retain your money. Now, Vanadinite is poisonous, and elixirs should be prepared by the indirect method. You should wash your hands after handling. Just an FYI. Got to put that out there. Okay. Okay. And I have to read this because I got the feeling of like breathing problems in this pile. Interesting enough, Vanadite is useful for breathing difficulties such as asthma and congested lungs. It facilitates the practice of circular breathing. Vanadinite treats chronic exhaustion and bladder problems. If used as an elixir, only one made in the indirect method can be taken internally. Meaning, indirect meaning like maybe placing this stone on top or below a water bottle or right next to a water bottle and allowing the energy to flow into the water without actually placing it in there. Okay. Which you really shouldn't be doing with crystals anyway, unless because a lot of them contain lead and all kinds of stuff. So we definitely don't want to be doing that. But um, place as appropriate or rub the elixir externally over the chest area. If using to aid acceptance of physicality, the indirect method elixir should be taken for several weeks. Let's see page 371 to see what they're talking about when they say this indirect method here. To make a gem elixir. Yeah. I intuitively got that right. Or context is everything, but basically place a cleaned, non-friable crystal in a glass bowl with spring water. Place the friable or toxic stones in a small glass jar and then in the glass bowl. This is the indirect method. Right. So it's charging the water without actually touching the water or whatever substance you're using. Okay. Because you can even use it for oils, whatever. But, anyways, let's go ahead and get into the reading. I just find that very interesting. So, um, Archangel Gabriel's messages to pile number one. Now, you guys, you have a life purpose that is very much aligned with presenting something to the world in some way, shape, or form. Now, you may read this card right here. You were drawn to it for a reason. I don't care if you are a painter, somebody who draws, somebody who sings, somebody who raps, somebody who writes poetry. Or you could just be a content creator in some form or fashion where you're presenting information to the world, however or whatever that information may be. You're using your creativity to bring something to the public eye in some way, shape, or form. When people see the word creativity or creative, they automatically jump to like some sort of art form. And that's not always what, actually, it's never what creativity is only about. Creativity, the word alone, is about being able to create something. Okay, especially with the magician card out here. This is drawing information or inspiration down from below, and that's it's crazy you guys picked that stone, but that's what vanadinite will help you do. So if you're having trouble manifesting pile number one, you're having trouble staying focused, and I feel like whatever spell work or whatever energy work is being done against you, and whatever form it's being done, it's meant to distract you. It's meant to make you feel like you can't focus. When we can't focus, we can't create. When we can't create, we can't manifest. Okay, so paired there right there with that temptation card. Somebody is trying to, I want to say, swap destinies. For some of that, for some of you guys, that could be true, but I don't feel like it's necessarily taking your destiny and making it theirs per se, because I feel like whoever this person or people is or are, they don't have the capacity to create at the capacity you are or you will, because that's not their life path. They haven't been equipped with the mental capacity necessary to carry out the mission that you are meant to carry out here. They also don't have the heart, because if they had the heart, they wouldn't be doing this type of thing. Or they're simply not at a stage in their own spiritual journey where they could do something like this, okay? Where you're meant to create change in the world, positive change, okay? You're meant to bring God to humanity, okay? You are a spiritual leader, you're a spiritual teacher. The people who are attacking you know this about you, and they may feel a lot of jealousy surrounding this, okay? With this devil card out here, they want to attach themselves to you in some way, shape, or form, whether it's attaching themselves to your demise, your destruction, or attaching themselves to your success. Whichever way they have to do it is what they want to do. They want to attach to you in some way. They're psychic vampires, okay? um so what they're trying to do is swap this energy that you had. You still have it. I feel like there may be some distractions going on here. And that's the purpose of whatever this energy work is, okay? It's to fog or cloud your mind to the point where you're no longer focusing on the bigger picture, but now you're focusing on the little minute things in your life that may go wrong or may be going wrong as a result of this negative spell work. Okay. Spirit is saying, Archangel Gabriel is saying, keep your mind focused on solutions always. Regardless of what you may be going through, focus on the solutions. I don't care how many times you get rejected, turned down, how many times things may fail, or how grim and bleak the situation may look. They want you to focus on solutions. Because the more you're focused on the solutions, the more doors begin to open for you. For example, the more attempts you have, the more you go after something or try something, the more opportunities you have to succeed at something versus only attempting a few doors and then getting turned down and deciding, I'd rather give up. It's just not going to work. Right. Versus these 4 things didn't work out. Maybe these 10 things didn't work out. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep working. And like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to look like you trying to force a situation, because that's not what Spirit wants you to do. But Spirit is wanting you to move towards the things that you feel you naturally want to do, you feel naturally called to do. So, for instance, if you lose a job or you lost a job, pile number 1, or you hate your job and you want to leave, right? Focus on pouring more energy into the hobbies, the talents and skills that you have that could help you leave that job or help you bring money in while you look for another job, or help you to escape the rat race altogether. But you have to pour that energy into those aspects, those little cups, right, that are going to help you align with your purpose. It's interesting that this Archangel Gabriel actually, um, he likes to bring messages to human messengers. So, like I said, there's a message that you're meant to get out to humanity, and it has to do with God. It has to do with the universe, the creator, whatever you subscribe to, and whatever religion or whatever a sector of spirituality you're in, you know, as long as it's aligned with the higher vibrations versus the lower ones, right? Um, he brings good news. Archangel Gabriel brings us good news. So even though the message may be a little negative with this, Archangel Gabriel making you aware, there's people trying to drain your energy. There's people trying to place obstacles on your path. But this is to get you to have awareness of these things so that you can move accordingly. Okay. Now, all of this energy down here, if you believe, trust the universe, God is your source. Soul flame. The fact that soul flame is under trapped in fear, rediscover a lost part of yourself, experience relationship harmony and healing. Archangel Gabriel wants you to keep going despite the setbacks, despite the challenges, despite the obstacles, and start pouring more into the things that come naturally to you versus pouring into the things that you hate, or pouring into self-doubt, disbelief, fear. You have the complete ability to manifest the life that you want. The obstacle you're up against is there are people who don't want you to believe that or know that to be true about yourself. I don't feel like this is something that's always happened for you, because I feel like this is like a reminder message, like, hey, pile number 1, wake up. We have to get back to work. I feel like you took like some sort of break here, pile number 1. And in that break, something kind of shifted for you internally, or maybe even externally, where things just started to go awry. Things weren't going as planned. It's one setback, one obstacle after the other, it's seemingly, right? um like I said, when we ask to be great, we don't always necessarily see what that path is going to look like. But a lot of the times, the path to greatness is not an easy one. So just remind yourself of that every time you experience some sort of difficulty or setback. Just look at it as a challenge, something that you can overcome and be better for. There's a lesson there. Look at it as a lesson. What am I learning from this experience? What am I meant to learn from this experience? Now, it's interesting that God is your source is coming up underneath the devil card here. Um, Everything you need is supplied by the infinite source of God, and your faith opens the doorway to receive. In God, there is no lack or limitation. Rather, there is plenty of abundance for all to share. So, I want to take a look at this imagery or focus on this imagery for a second here. If you look at it, he's reaching out for this key. This key has the heart on it. Um, for me, it's like it's the key to the doorway that this is talking about, the key to God, source, creator, whatever you believe in. Now, look at the hair kind of engulfing this person. We know the traditional devil card, the people depicted in the traditional card are almost always chained or bound, tied to the Baphomet figure in the card, right? But here he's reaching for the key, and there's the keyhole on his heart. He's trying to open his heart, which is the key to God. It's the doorway to the higher power. And what I'm getting with this is I was getting this, you may have been knocked off of your path some way, somehow, right? And you may have been in this period of darkness where you were doubting the creator, you were doubting your abilities, you were doubting yourself. I feel like the Seven of Swords could also be self-deception that leads to the Eight of Swords, which is also self-deception, because we're imagining this prison around ourselves where we can't move forward, we can't do this, we can't do that. We're imposing limitations on ourselves. And Archangel Gabriel wants you to be reminded of the infinite power of the universe. Go back to, I feel like I mentioned this a lot in my readings, but just focus on those times in your life where you felt like you weren't going to make it. And then looking back, hindsight is 2020. It's like I did make it through that situation. And not only did I make it through that situation, I've learned a lot from that situation so that I don't have to repeat those cycles again. Okay. Everything you need is supplied by the infinite source of God. All you need is that faith. Trust the universe. So it's very clear what your message is from our Archangel Gabriel. He's coming through to remind you of God's love. Okay. God's love for you and what you were put on this earth to do. You were made specially for this timeline you've incarnated in. Okay. So don't hinder yourself. Don't place limitations on yourself. Okay. um for some of you guys, if you have dabbled in darkness, okay, out of fear, out of desperation, or whatever the case may have been, this is also Archangel Gabriel's reminder, or he's reaching a hand out to you to change, to choose a different way, to choose a different direction, okay? Which is interesting. I've never gotten that in a reading before, but everything has its rightful place, okay? Even you, pile number one. Patient, practical, truthful, committed, steadfast, orderly, reliable, considerate, consistent, disciplined, systematic, instinctual, careful, detailed, discerning, rational. Now, with the organizer card here, for me, this is indicating, I'm pairing it with the spiritual teacher card here, that you may need a little bit more organization in your life. Pile number one is what Archangel Gabriel is communicating here. Organize things, put things in their rightful place. Maybe you need a system, okay? But he's saying don't allow the lack of a system stop you from putting your work out there. um Archangel Gabriel wants you to start, whatever that start looks like. He's saying that you will learn as you go, but if you don't start, you're going to regret it, because you're going to look back at all the time you wasted. And the Vanadinite crystal or stone helps us with not squandering our time. So there's a clear message here where pile number one, Archangel Gabriel really wants to bring your awareness to what you're spending your time on, okay, and why. And I feel like a lot of you guys, you may be spending a lot of time focusing on the negatives, focusing on what you can't do, or how something isn't perfect, or how you'll never be good enough, or how things will never take off or change for you. And this is all an illusion, okay? Shift your mindset back to that of awareness. For a lot of you guys, you do need to cleanse and purify your energy, okay? Because like I said, there are some psychic vampires around you guys. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is what it is, okay? This can show up in many different forms. It's just people around us being negative, people around us who don't see the good in us, and it makes us question ourselves. But you know, we have to put these people in their rightful place in our lives. We don't have to make space for or hold space for people who don't bring anything good to us, who always bring negativity to us. We don't have to hold space for those people. um Archangel Gabriel wants you to believe in yourself again, okay? This, if you believe, is coming up under the Seven of Swords, which makes me believe that there's a lot of self-deception going on here as well, okay? Yeah, there are people around you who envy you, who are probably sending you the evil eye, maybe even doing spell work on you, black magic on you, to keep you trapped or bound, to make you squander your money, your goals, and what have you, your energy. But the only way this has power is if you feed into it, okay? And the way not to feed into this negative energy is by, you know, our faith, going back to a spiritual practice, or maybe amping up a spiritual practice. If you already have one, I feel like you can be doing more. Meditation, prayer, visualization, listening to healing frequencies, crystals, crystal work, okay? um Spiritual baths, even going to church for some of you guys, okay? Anything to lift that negative, nasty energy off of you so that you can go back to focusing on your purpose, your mission, healing and becoming a better person. It's very important for you to cleanse your energy, pile number one. Archangel Gabriel wants to make that message very clear, okay? Because if you don't, it could also impact your work. If you aren't able to still create, it's impacting your work, the quality, the integrity of your work. And then for others of you guys, it's impacting your ability to even go out and create something, maybe even impacting your ability to share it, you know? So be mindful of that. And we also know Saturn, it rules Capricorn. Capricorn rules the devil card, right? In the traditional tarot deck. So Capricorn, Saturn is the planet of obstacles, blockages, challenges, karma, discipline. Okay. It's the hard work we put in, the stuff we don't want to think about in the 3D realm, when it comes to manifesting or maintaining stability in our waking everyday 3D lives, right? It's those things that we don't want to do, okay, but we have to do. If we don't do them, we're forced to deal with negative consequences as a result. So you may want to look into working with Saturn, seeing or looking into different ways that you can work with the planet Saturn. I believe Saturn, I don't believe, I know Saturn rules Saturday. So finding some sort of practice on Saturday that helps you with connecting with the Saturn energy, okay? And using it or working with it to your benefit, helping you ground and things like that. I'm trying to think if what chakra Saturn would rule, but I'll be better on Saturn. None of this matters. Dreaming of Saturn. Okay, so I want you guys to also be aware, what planet is Saturn? Is the seventh planet? I think it's the seventh planet. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Saturn is the seventh planet. And if it is, we have the seven here. Seven to me is a divine number. It's a number of completion, divine completion. We have seven chakras, 7 days in the week. God created the earth in 7 days. It's just a lot. Seven is just a reoccurring number when it comes to creation. So it's a divine number for me. And the fact that Saturn is the seventh planet, I do believe, to me ties a lot into our dharma in the earthly plane. I feel like if you guys don't know where Saturn falls in your chart, you may want to look into that, especially if you have Capricorn placements. Just take a look at where your Saturn is in your astrological chart and what lesson you're meant to learn it when it comes to that. When it comes to Saturn or the 11th house. Okay. Or 10th house, sorry. For the 10th house. Now, we also have a lot of eights here. Eight is a number of cycles. Okay. It's also the infinity symbol, but most importantly, it's the energy of cycles and karma. And because this reading is it's a very heavy negative energy encircling this reading, I do want you guys to focus on what cycle you may keep finding yourself in and what it may be trying to teach you, what you can learn from it, especially if it's, again, something that you keep finding yourself cycling through. You keep finding yourself in this same position or predicament. What can you do differently? What lesson could you be needing to learn there? I'm actually going to pull some cards on that because I feel like that's an important question here. I was going to tell you guys to pull cards because I'm like, I am the tarot reader here. What lesson is pile number one learning around what was the question? Oh, around a continued cycle or repetitive negative cycle in their life. What are they learning? I almost wanted to say the 8th house and the 10th house. We have social status in reverse. So what negative lesson or what lesson are you learning from the negative cycles in your life? Maybe obsessing over the opinions of others. Okay. And we also have helping hand in reverse, not asking for help, feeling too proud or too prideful to reach out and ask for help, focusing too much on how other people may perceive you. What negative lesson is pile number one learning around the 8th house? And then we'll get the 10th house. 8th house. Oh my goodness. Okay. For some of you guys, it could be a fear of being seen. So yeah, you may be afraid to reach out, ask for help, and blah blah blah. But it's all stemming around a fear of being seen, and part of your life purpose is being seen. So if you find yourself in cycles, negative cycles surrounding money, surrounding your relationships with other people, it's tied to breaking you out of this cycle so that you can step into your purpose. So until you do that, because it's so tied to your purpose, you're going to struggle with these things. You're going to struggle with money. You're going to struggle with your relationships with people. You're going to struggle with maybe people even attacking you because you're keeping yourself small. You're meant to break out into the world. You're meant to have a platform of some sort. And this platform is going to grant you access to different types of people of higher status. And not that you're chasing some sort of social clout, but you're too big for your environment. So you're going to continuously attract negative people who don't mean you well, people who are trying to stop you and place blockages on your path, as long as you keep yourself small. Okay. We literally have money matters at the bottom of the deck. So I feel like the money is a karmic cycle that you're meant to face regardless in your life, because there's something you're having to learn when it comes to luck versus planning. Okay. Okay, what lesson is pile number one learning surrounding the 10th house? Independence. Manage money yourself. Independence guarantees security. What I'm getting with this is detaching yourself from institutions such as, if you work for a corporation, if you work for a business, someone else's business, it's about learning to detach yourself and become more of an entrepreneur, to rely more on yourself for your finances to make ends meet. So, for those of you guys who are struggling with money and you work a regular 9 to 5, Archangel Gabriel wants to make you aware that you're going to continue to struggle with money. And I don't mean to say this in a negative way. It's literally just an eye opener. Okay. Especially if you're going through a difficult time and you keep finding yourself in the same place over and over again. We know the climate of today's economy, right? We know that things are more expensive now than they've ever been. But if we're attached to a company, we're attached to a corporation or whatever the case may be, our salaries are typically capped unless you're a salesperson, of course, which even then, you're in control of your salary at that point to a certain extent, right? But because you're stuck, it's almost like a box. You only make, this is your salary, you don't exceed this, unless of course you're getting overtime. But even then, you're putting more energy and effort, you're squandering your energy, you no longer have energy to give to your purpose. So Saturn, to me, is connected to our dharma. Saturn is literally putting you through this mess, pile number one, if you're going through a lot right now, because they're trying to force you out of a situation that you are not meant to be in, number one, and it's distracting you from actually living in your purpose. So some of you guys may quite literally need to take a leap of faith when it comes to branching out and trying something in regards to sharing your work, what you've created, to the world. Okay. So what you're learning, like your karma in the eighth house, is your fear of being seen. And it's attached to your legacy. It's attached to it's attached to how you're going to alchemize the negative experiences in your life. Okay. Um, or no reputation. It's okay to be yourself. Like, and it's showing up on this Eight of Swords. I feel like a lot of the mess you put yourself in, pile number one, mentally, spiritually, even physically in the 3D, it stems from your fear of being seen. It stems from your fear of even asking for help for some of you guys where you need it, being afraid to maybe even ask for advice or ask for like networking opportunities, asking to work with certain people, putting yourself out there in a way where you can potentially be criticized. Okay. um the fact that this is in reverse, upright, it's like, don't get arrogant. This is somebody who reaches for the stars. They want to be seen, right? In reverse, I'm just getting somebody who does not want to be seen, who does not want to ruffle too many feathers, um or create inconveniences for other people just from showing up by showing up, right? um you can't really make this up, guys. We literally have spiritual teacher, share your art with the world. It's time to allow others to enjoy your creative work. And then we have public face and star power. This is the lesson you're learning when it comes to the eighth house. So some of you guys, if you have Scorpio north or south node, you may want to take a look at that placement in your chart. See what it's aspecting, the degree and all that stuff. Even in Vedic, or doesn't matter if it's Vedic or Western, okay? And then in the 10th house, you're learning to stop relying overly on the traditional ways of making money, making a life for yourself, but also not being impulsive with your money. Of course, you have to learn, if you're going to branch out and make money on your own, You have to know how to manage it. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself repeating certain cycles. But Archangel Gabriel is saying, no, like you are going to be more financially free when you choose to work for yourself. Pile number one. Even if it's a salesperson, I don't know. I feel like there's something about the traditional route, the traditional 9 to 5, that's just not, it's not for you, pile number one. And you're going to continue to receive negative karma as long as you subscribe to that lifestyle. Even if that negative karma is just you feeling unhappy all the time. I have to wake up and follow this. Like it's something about your 9 to 5 not allowing you the creative freedom that your soul so desperately wants. Okay. So for some of you guys with the trust the universe, God is your source. Like you, if you believe, share your work with the world. It's something about just putting something out there, publishing something, writing that book, uh, doing that course, creating that class. You need to buckle down. Pile number one, create something, get strategic, get organized, create systems if you need to. But even if you don't have the time to do that right now because your time is being invested elsewhere, start somewhere, put something out there, and just start with what you have to get to where you ultimately want to go. But to speed this up, you have to start. Pile number one is what Archangel Gabriel wants you to know. We got pretty deep in this reading, pile number one. Um, let's go ahead. I was going to get a witchy message for you guys, and then I wanted to take a look at where you are currently on your spiritual path. But I feel like these cards just kind of answered all of that. Let's get some messages from the ancestors. Thank you, Archangel Gabriel, so much for this message, for this reading for pile number one. I hope you guys did find something that you could find useful here. Unity, wholeness achieved, whirling rainbow. We have victory at the bottom of the deck. Spirit is saying you're going to have this victory. How soon is completely up to you, pile number one. But the good news that Archangel Gabriel is ultimately giving you here, pile number one, is that you have some sort of talent to make this life a reality for you, to make your life great, to make your life what you want it to be. You have leadership. Step into your leadership. Share your message. Share your art with the world. Inspire and empower others. And we have healer. You have powerful healing gifts. Have faith in your abilities. Stay true to your path as a healer. You guys are meant to uplift humanity. I told you guys that. You're meant to draw inspiration from God. You're meant to bring God to the planet, okay? In some way. That's going to change lives. All right. So where is pile number one right now spiritually when it comes to realizing this message that Archangel Gabriel you have for them? Ooh, powerful transformation here. You're being pushed to change. That eighth house, that lesson you're learning in the eighth house, if you're being seen, if you're going to be put to the test. I feel like you're going to be put in a lot of situations where you're having to maybe talk a lot more. You're being put in vulnerable positions where you may have to reach out and ask for help a lot more. And I feel like these are things you're not very comfortable with. And, or it's like, for some of you guys, you're in situations where it's like, I have to do this or I'm going to suffer. I have to do this or things are just going to progressively get worse. Okay. So you could be at a crossroads right now where it's like, I have to make something shake. I have to do something because what's currently happening or going on right now is just not working anymore. So you're going through a transformation and you are protected during this transformation. Like I said, even those people sending you negative energy, evil eye, for some of you guys, it's Saturn. Okay. Being your biggest hater right now because the universe sees much more for you, pile number one, and they're like, when is pile number one gonna move? So even if it is Saturn, they're sending this energy through other people, and you may see it as like, oh my God, everybody's going against me, everybody's attacking me. No. You're going through a powerful transformation. It's meant to transform you. It's meant to make you wake up and realize that you need a change. Okay. Or it's like things are not working out. It's one disaster after the other. Yeah, because you're needing to learn this lesson. Okay. love charm, attract a lover, soulmate, or life partner. Where is pile number one spiritually when it comes to manifesting this life they envision for themselves? Ooh, that's a lot. Triple moon. Embracing all aspects of yourself, the divine and the earthly. Yep, we definitely got that message. Um, and that fear of being seen and fear of perceiving yourself as vulnerable could also come or be stemmed around that, you know, that energy of not feeling comfortable in your body or not being confident in your body. And this is what that Vanadinite stone will help you with, pile number one. So if you guys resonate with this reading, I definitely recommend working with Vanadinite. I'm working with the energy of Saturn or Saturn day. Maybe Saturday is the days where you need to put the most work in or plan or organize, whatever the case may be. But Saturn is working with you heavily through this transition, okay? So you may want to figure out how to work more cohesive. How am I making up a word? Cohesively or harmoniously with the energy of Saturn, okay? Because it's going to benefit you a lot. True wisdom and making good choices in life, okay? So this crossroads is a test to see what decision you're going to make. Pile number one, a prosperous business with riches and success. So if you take that leap of faith towards your passions, towards your life purpose, which is the things that you feel naturally, what you naturally feel called to do, the things that you take an interest in, like your hobbies and things like that, even like dreams that you've had as a kid, the dream life that you've always wanted to live. The moment you take that leap of faith towards that thing, whatever it is for you, you're going to prosper. Pile number one. And it may not happen overnight, but I feel like it's going to be very fast. It is going to be very fast. And this is a reward from the universe for taking action where they wanted you to. Okay. What message does we're going to get one more message from the ancestors and then we're going to close it out. So I feel like we've been on here for a minute. Pile number one. What message does the ancestors have for pile number one? Inventor. Yeah. You guys are creators. You guys are thinkers. You're progressives. You are here to move the planet, the collective forward. That's your mission. And it's going to be through whatever it is you choose to create and share with other people. And I feel like it is a message that you're sharing. And I feel like it's a message of love. It's a message of acceptance. It's a message of unity. It's a message of helping other people heal and integrate these shadow aspects of themselves. I feel like you're meant to here I am about to say force. Spirit is literally trying to force you into this. um it's almost like they're just shaking you like, wake up, wake up, wake up. Like the answer is right there. Pile number one, it's right there. It's right in your face. You wake up to it every day. You feel it, you see it, you know it. Take action on it. um yeah. So but also I feel like, you guys could be meeting the love of your life very soon, or you're attracting the love of your life. If they're already in your life, they're falling more in love with you, or they're going through their own awakening that's leading them to you. But I definitely feel like there's a soulmate connection here, a cosmic connection with another person. This is somebody you think like, this is somebody who's going to help you on your path. But don't get caught up on this, okay? Because I know it's easy to get distracted by love and connections and romantic relationships. Don't get stuck on this. It's going to happen when you least expect it, okay? And it's going to happen when you're obeying the universe, okay? That's important. Yeah, so we're going to leave it there, pile number one. If you guys resonated with this reading, don't forget to like, comment, and or subscribe. I hope to see you guys on another one. Bye. Hello, pile number two people. Those of you who chose the retreats oracle card and the speeches and speaking message cards from the Archangel Gabriel himself, And this clear quartz crystal, this is going to be your reading. Let's go ahead and jump into this. Okay, you guys got a lot of cards. Okay, I could even fit all of them here. As you can see, some of them are just lining the sides here, but we're going to go ahead and get into the message for you guys. So we're first going to start with Archangel Gabriel's message. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to start with what message the Crystal Bible has for you guys in regards to this stone that you guys chose, which is the clear quartz. So let's pull up quartz. You guys can skip through this if you want, but you know, I do recommend quartz. Quartz. Here it is. Please work with me. Okay, so quartz is the most powerful healing and energy amplifier on the planet because of its unique helical spiral crystalline form. Found worldwide, it absorbs, stores, releases, and regulates energy release, and is excellent for unblocking it. When acupuncture needles are coated in quartz, the effects increase by 10%, as demonstrated by a Kirlian camera. Holding a quartz crystal in your hand doubles your biomagnetic field. It enhances muscle testing and protects against radiation. Quartz generates electromagnetism and dispels static electricity. This crystal works at a vibrational level attuned to the specific energy requirements of the person needing healing or undertaking spiritual work, which to me reminds me of Reiki. It has an intelligence kind of its own. That's why I like working with quartz. It's kind of like a blank canvas, quartz. It's going to provide you exactly what you need at the time you're working with it. It's not going to, you don't impose your energy onto quartz. It's the other way around. Same thing with Reiki. It takes the energy to the most perfect state possible, going back to before the dis-ease set in. It cleanses and enhances the organs and subtle bodies and acts as a deep soul cleanser, connecting the physical dimension with the mind. At a spiritual level, this crystal raises energy to the highest possible level, containing every color possible. Clear quartz works on all levels of being. Storing information like a natural computer, these crystals are a spiritual library waiting to be accessed. Quartz has the ability to dissolve karmic seeds. It enhances psychic abilities and attunes you to your spiritual purpose. Used in meditation, quartz filters out distractions. Quartz is the most efficient receptor for programming. At a mental level, quartz aids concentration and unlocks memory. Quartz is a great energy saver. Attached to a fuel line in a car, quartz point reduces fuel consumption. Quartz points have different facet shapes according to how fast they formed. These shapes are deeply significant. Quartz is a master healer and can be used for any condition. It stimulates the immune system and brings the body into balance. It is excellent for soothing burns. Quartz harmonizes all the chakras and aligns the subtle bodies. Okay, we're working with clear quartz here. And I don't think they have clear quartz in this. That's interesting. They don't have clear quartz here, but we're just gonna leave it there. Okay, so let's get into Archangel Gabriel's message for you guys, pile number 2. So first of all, you have the retreat message here, and it says to block out distractions, spend quiet time alone so that you can focus on your priorities. Because we have clear, cancel, and release, and we have cut the cords, we have moving on, authority. Move into your true self. Rise above the darkness here. Archangel Gabriel wants you to be more conscientious of the people, places, and things you're giving your energy to, and how those people, places, and things are making you feel in return, or what they're giving back to you in return. I did a personal reading for somebody recently where I told them, if we keep giving our energy to something, whether it's time, whether it's resources, money, whatever the case may be, we keep giving it and it's not giving anything in return. Eventually, we deplete ourselves. Okay. Um, Look at money as an example. You keep spending money on something that does not give a return of some sort, you're eventually going to deplete your bank account, right? Um, the same thing goes for our energy levels, okay? And energy is very, very contagious, okay? So we want to be mindful of the types of people we have around us. Now, for a lot of you guys, you may need time away from people in order to figure this out, okay? In order to be clear on who it is you need to cut out of your life. I cannot explain to you how valuable that time alone, that solitude is when it comes to figuring out who's meant for you and who's not. It gives you that time without that noise, without that person in your ear, trying to convince you that they have a place in your life, or trying to convince you not to walk away, or constantly asking you for things, right? Once we get in that energy of solitude, we're able to put things in perspective. We're able to reflect, you know. Um, but there is a time needed for you to retreat. And I feel like this retreat, it's no coincidence that I did put this card over top of it. It wasn't purposely, but it says get more information. I feel like the answers will be revealed to you as far as who you need to let go of and why, once you spend some time in solitude away from people. Okay, now moving into the second message Archangel Gabriel has for you, it says speeches and speaking. You have important messages to deliver that can help others. It's up to you. Okay, now we have cancel, clear, release, new beginnings. What do you need to let go of that needs to be let go of so you can step out, branch out into the world? I feel like this is a repeated message in my readings for some of you guys, so some of you guys may need to hear this. But the world is your oyster, and it's crazy we have oyster catcher here. Concealment. Some of you guys could have haters in your life who are concealing their identity. Okay. These people are wanting you to think small. They're wanting you to think on the smaller scale so that you don't branch out and create things for yourself and experience more for yourself. Okay. Um, you're going to get far in this life, in this world, by following your passions. Pile number two. Whatever it is that makes you feel alive, people, places, and things, just acting on them and seeing where those things lead you. Of course, within reason, but when you're following your heart, when you're aligned with your true self, right, and you're operating from a light space, your heart is never going to deceive you as long as you are tuned in to the frequency of the universe, God, source, creator, whatever you believe in, and you're allowing that energy into your space. You're allowing that energy into your heart, right? You're never going to be led astray. Now, it's interesting that this passion ignited. I didn't even look at this before I said that. Listen deeply. This is you listening to your intuition. Like I said, when you follow the things that ignite you, you're going to be led to places that produce the experiences that you're wanting to experience in life. Pile number two. For some of you guys, this may involve a move, a physical move from a location or people, places, and things, a job, even for some of you guys that is no longer serving you. It's saying cut the cords. Some of you guys have an over reliance or dependency on a person, place, or thing. That is stunting your growth, that is stunting your ability to go out and create the life that you envision for yourself. Spirit is wanting you to take full control over your domain. Stop allowing other people to tell you how to think, feel, and act. This is your life. You get one chance at it in this body. Okay. So make the most of it, because there is a mission, a sole purpose that you came here to achieve. And it's up to you whether or not you're going to realize this mission, this goal. Okay. And if you look at it here, there's this yellow circle around both of these people. That circle, when you see it in photographs, especially spiritual or religious people or leaders, it indicates an enlightened person. This is somebody operating from a space of enlightenment. This person is being led by a higher power. Okay. This person has done the work on themselves to see clear. And it's interesting we have ascension here as I'm saying this. This is very, you guys may be getting a lot of synchronicities right now. This is the universe, God, source, creator, whatever you believe in, speaking to you when it comes to making certain decisions and moving forward in life. Don't be afraid to take that leap of faith, even if the end or the next step does not seem clear to you. Move into your true self, rise above the darkness. The light is here. Serapis Bay. All right, sorry guys, just a second. Okay. It's an interesting message that you got the Emperor here, because in the last pile, they did get this energy of there's some sort of lesson they were learning when it comes to their 8th and 10th house. And a lot of it had to do with learning to not rely on institutions or corporations or other people's money as far as like someone else's company, somebody else's business to collect your paychecks. Because like I mentioned before, like we get stuck in these places, and a lot of times our salaries, our income is finite. We can't exceed that. It just is what it is week by week. So even when the economy is trash, even when the prices of things are going up, our paychecks is still the same for some of us, right? um this message is especially for you if you find yourself in that situation. There may be a lesson surrounding, branching off and creating your own streams of income so that you're no longer relying on these institutions, these corporations, and companies to pay you a living wage, a decent wage. Especially if you're sitting here, you're waiting to live life, you're waiting to be able to travel, you're waiting to be able to move where you want to move, you're waiting to be able to connect with the people, places, and things you want to connect with, right? But you can't because you're stuck. You're tied down to a 9 to 5 that doesn't allow you the time to leave. It doesn't even allow you the time to think half the time, right? Let alone the money to do it comfortably, right? Um, Spirit is wanting you to realize that there is a lesson in this. Archangel Gabriel is wanting you to realize there's a lesson in this. They're wanting you to take the time out to meditate, to reflect, in order to get a clear picture of what your next step should be, as far as what you need to leave behind, what connections are no longer serving you, jobs no longer serving you, even if it's your own business. Because as an entrepreneur, sometimes you create a business and you end up working more hours than you anticipated. I've seen it. I've worked for people like this. They spend more time at their business than they would a regular job. So you don't want to get yourself tied up in that. If you're experiencing that right now, it's like take a step back. Pile number 2, work things out, see where you can cut expenses if you need to, so that you can produce more time for yourself if money is not the object, or if money is not the problem. If it's vice versa, see where you can cut expenses in order to save money or produce more excess income for yourself. But then for others of you guys, you're trapped in a cycle, and I feel like you could be attached to or listening to people who are also stuck in the same cycle, or a negative cycle of their own that they're projecting onto you. Okay. um you want to move away from the people who are encouraging you not to follow your heart, who are instead instilling fear when you share your dreams and wishes. Okay. Be mindful. It's interesting, we have the Merchant here, and if you look at this tree, guys, it's money. It's a money tree, right? Opportunities to prosper are everywhere. And it's interesting where it's falling on top of this Ace of Wands and the Listen Deeply card. Your intuition is going to guide you exactly where you need to be, pile number 2. And if you're struggling now, you're not going to be struggling anymore if you choose to follow your heart, because it's not leading you astray. If your heart is telling you you hate your job, it makes you physically sick to even think about it, to go in there every day, stop denying your body. Your body is keeping the score. You're stressing yourself out, okay? And for what? Is it even worth it? For some of you guys, ask yourself that question. Is it even worth it? At the end of the month, are you able to even cover your bills? Okay. And if you are, at what expense? Did you do anything fun that month? Did you have time to even think to yourself? Did you have time for meditation, prayer, and things that are going to keep you grounded and happy and sane, right? um Archangel Gabriel is just wanting you really to get honest with yourself, because, and I feel like in this pile, this is more up to you than you realize. I feel like in pile number one, they had it a little bit worse than you. Not gonna lie, pile number two, Spirit was literally forcing them to change things in their life. You know, they didn't have the option of, I don't like my job, but it's not that bad. You know what I mean? They didn't have that option. I feel like for pile number one, it was literally like, I hate this job. I'm going to end up, resenting my entire life if I don't quit, um, for example. But for you guys, it's more of like a gentle nudge from the universe. It's very gentle right now. It could turn into pile number one, okay? But right now for you guys, it's a gentle nudge, you know, to move in a different direction. Now, we have gratitude list. We have words of abundance. We have clearing debts. We have dreams of abundance, okay? Counting your blessings and feeling gratitude for what you already have helps you to be centered in your heart instead of fixated on worries in your mind. What and who are you grateful for right now? Keep focusing upon gratitude and you'll discover the amazing generosity of this universe. Words of abundance. You have the ability to instantly manifest abundance by choosing powerful, positive words. Always describe your own and the world's economic situation in loving and optimistic terms. And that is what you attract for yourself and others. That's interesting because I was just touching on that, how, when we're stuck in a job, we're bound to whatever that institution, that person, place, or thing wants to pay us, right? Regardless of how up and down the economy is, how expensive or cheap things are, does not matter in a lot of cases, you know. Archangel Gabriel is coming through because they want you to keep a more positive outlook on this, but in the way of like, I'm not making enough money here, or I'm not making as much as I would like, but I have control over that aspect by producing more, offering more, making yourself more valuable, or creating something that has value for others, okay? um I just feel like for you guys in this pile, you're in a situation where you don't have as much control over your life as you would like. Pile number two. Like, even though things may not be like unbearable, it's this energy of things could be better. And the only reason why they're not better is because there's some sort of limitation you're putting on yourself. Okay. And for some of you guys, you're not being thankful for what you already have, which is kind of creating a barrier to creating more, because you're in this energy of, oh crap, I don't have it. Let me sulk. Let me be sad about that my life sucks, right? Instead of like, okay, I don't really like my life right now, but I know that there are infinite opportunities and possibilities to change that and live a better life, right? And believing wholeheartedly that that is possible, and that it's possible by following your heart, by following the things that are going to bring you joy. Now, we're instilled from a very young age that, our fantasies, our dreams, daydreams are not going to pay the bills, right? Our creativity is not going to pay the bills, right? But Spirit, Archangel Gabriel is wanting you to reverse that. Actually, what's going to take you to the next level is by following the things that bring you joy, because it creates more joy. And when you're more joyous with this gratitude card, you're able to attract more. Okay. So we have clearing debts here. Your self-care involves removing heavy burden of financial and emotional debts from your life. You already feel lighter and freer just by facing this topic and making a plan to clear present obligations and avoid future ones as well. um, some of you guys may find yourself in a cycle of making money just to pay other people off or pay bills or whatever the case may be, and feeling like you're always just making enough, or you're always a daily and a dollar short for some of you guys, right? And thinking, there something has got to give. I'm just not making enough. I don't have the time. if I am making enough. And it's the reason why you don't have time is because you have these heavy burdens, right? These heavy financial burdens. If I don't work 3 jobs, then I can't pay my bills, right? Even though I can never afford to take a vacation after because I don't have the time, right? um, you don't have to settle for this way of being, pile number two. Even if you are somebody who owns your own business, but this is your reality, right? Feeling like you have to put in all of these hours to, make ends meet. And yeah, you may be making decent money, but um, you don't have the time to do anything that actually would make your life enjoyable, make your time on earth enjoyable. Earth is not meant to be a prison. We come here to learn certain lessons, and then once we learn them, we're free to go forward. We're free to live a more expansive, more happier lifestyle. We're not always going to be happy, I'm not saying that, but does our life have to consist of just consistent, never ending cycles of suffering and not being happy? Absolutely not. Okay, absolutely not. So Archangel Gabriel is coming through to say, kind of expand your horizons, dream bigger. And if you're already dreaming bigger, take action on it. Okay, don't leave it up to fate. Don't leave it up to chance. Take action. Dreams of abundance. As you sleep, God, your angels, and your higher self are giving you divinely guided ideas, answers, and solutions. Be sure to record your dreams in a journal because they contain valuable insights that will help you manifest your desires into reality. Okay. Um, Archangel Gabriel is coming through to let you know that opportunities to make money and prosper and live a happy life are all around you, pile number two. And it's going to start with taking some sort of leap of faith towards something that brings you a lot of joy. Okay. um or something that allows you to be creative, allows you to create, because I feel like you guys are mostly in your element, pile number two, is when you are free to just create, when you're free to have full creative control over what it is you're creating. We have oracle cards here. You're able to discern answers and guidance for yourself and others. And the fact that we have speeches and speaking, you have important messages to deliver that can help others. Interesting. Some of you guys could be tarot readers, energy readers, psychics, mediums, and things like that. This is a clear message that if you don't have some sort of medium in which you can access other people and give these messages, even if it's a brick and mortar, this is your sign, to go ahead and make that thing a reality. For some of you guys, it's just as simple as hitting the record button on your camera. Okay, using what you have to get to where you want to be. Okay. um, and doing it with the energy of anything is possible, not, oh, I'm just going to try this. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We don't want to go into it with that. You want to have a clear goal and you want to have a plan. Okay. Now, if this does not resonate with you for the oracle cards and the speeches and speaking, this could be an indicator from Archangel Gabriel that maybe you should open yourself up more to listening to more positive people on, your social media, following more positive, optimistic people, even if they are witches, tarot card readers, and things of the sort. These people could offer you a lot of insight and guidance into what it is you need to do next or should do next, you know. But I do feel like for a lot of you guys, you may have gone through things in life that allow you this insight that can potentially help a lot of other people, you know. But some of you guys do have to sever some sort of tie to poverty, and I feel like it does have to do with people as well. I feel like whoever these people are, they also have that same mentality or that same vow to poverty, and they're speaking more of this poverty mindset into you. And so if you're wondering why it's hard for you to take action, or it's hard for you to move forward in life and make the changes that you feel called to do, it's because your environment may not be proper. Pile number two. We have the oyster catcher here. It's air energy. And what I'm getting with this, um, it's concealment. So it's moving at a steady pace, number one, but number two is maybe not. I feel like I'm speaking to people who may share a lot of their life with other people. Okay. Um, it may be a knee-jerk reaction where you want to share positive news. Oh, I'm getting ready to do this. I plan to do this, or I have this dream to do this, right? Moving with intention and secrecy until you've manifested what it is you are trying to manifest for yourself. Because I feel like some of you guys, you tell your plans to certain people and they're like, oh, you shouldn't do that because then X, Y, and Z. And what if this happens? And then what if you lose everything? And then what if, and what if, and what if, and it's all negative. And then it makes you not want to take action, but it's something that you felt deep down in your heart and soul that you should take action on or do, right? So what I'm getting with that card is Archangel Gabriel is wanting you to be aware of who you're sharing your plans with, and maybe just take a step back and choose to keep most of this information to yourself. Keep it close to your chest, okay, until you've done it, until you've completed that action or moved towards what it is you were trying to move towards, okay? Uh, all right, so let's take a look at. I want to get some witchy messages. I want to get some messages from the ancestors. And then I also want to get your lessons as well. So just looking at the numbers here, we have 6, 4, 1. I feel like, and 0 and 5, 4, 5, 6, 0, 1, 4, 5, 6. Interesting. So those numbers could have significance for you. I don't feel a strong karmic lesson coming through in this pile. However, I do feel something strongly with the first house for you. So I wanted to pull some cards to see what lesson you could be learning with your first house. Or if you have Aries in your chart, take a look at where those Aries placements are, as well as your first house placements, okay? So what lesson is pile number 2 learning in regards to the first house? Okay, have an eye for beauty and uncover hidden charms. Seek and you will find. And it's interesting. Seek and you will find and listen deeply. Open up your heart and connect with others. Express your creative self. So, the lesson you're learning when it comes to your first house is trusting yourself. Okay, trusting that who and what you're attracted to, is proper, that you're not misleading yourself, you're not deceiving yourself, okay? um I don't know if I'm going to post this reading, but I did a reading last night where I was talking about how, like, Venus placements or Venus ruled signs, they typically do have an eye for beauty, and they typically are signs that are easy to lust after people, places, and things than other ones, just because of that, that hedonistic side to Venus, that joy for pleasure. um this is like tapping more into that Venus, that Venusian energy, and using it to your benefit. Like, yes, I lust after this specific person or this type of person, right? And I'm going to use that as my inspiration to do the things that I need to do in order to align myself with that person or that place or that thing, right? Because I feel it, I want that, I envision it for myself, right? um versus allowing yourself to feel shame, like, I shouldn't be attracted to this person, I shouldn't lust after this person, I shouldn't lust after this type of lifestyle or this type of person, right? But instead of that, use it as some sort of fuel. I would like a person that I enjoy looking at every day. And when I say that, I don't mean like this person has to be the quintessential conventional idea of beauty or attractiveness, right? But it's something that you enjoy. This is all about you, how you express yourself, and how you interpret other people's expressions of themselves and how you relate to that, okay? and not feeling like you have to seek advice on why you feel attracted to certain people, places, and things. Okay, and how you're interpreting that person, place, or thing, because this is your experience at the end of the day. um, and ultimately what it is you're attracted to, whether it's a person, place, thing, lifestyle, frame of mind, is what's going to lead you to this life of abundance anyway. So the more you deny yourself, the more you fall into this energy of blah. Life is just life, right? I wake up every day, I go to work. I don't necessarily love my job, but it's work, and I'm not suffering in that aspect, but it could be better, but I'm just going to settle because that's what I should be doing, right? No, follow your passions, pile number two. I mean, I'm not here to tell you what to do, but Archangel Gabriel is wanting you to follow your passions, okay? Because it's going to lead you to a life of abundance, okay? Now, what lesson is pile number two learning in regards to the sixth house? Which is, it's crazy. We got wellness. The sixth house rules our body's routine health, right? Um, Live a healthier lifestyle. So you're learning to live a more healthier lifestyle, pile number two, when it comes to your sixth house. And being around negative, low vibrational people definitely has a negative impact on our health, especially our mental health, but it does eventually weigh on our physical being as well, with that stress and tension. So you guys are becoming more aware of how people, places, and things are affecting your well-being, and you're being encouraged to disconnect from those people, places, and things that are lowering your vibration and making you feel like your life is not worth enjoying. Okay. And now, what lesson is pile number two learning in regards to the fourth house? Star power, interesting. Become an influencer of the company and earn fame and popularity. Step into the spotlight. The fourth house is ruled by Cancer, and Cancer has a lot to do with the home, right? Um, I feel like because it's coming out on top of this Emperor here, this has a lot to do with you trusting yourself when it comes to leading your own home, which has a lot to do with you leading yourself as well. What experience do you want to have? What experience do you want your family to have? If you don't have a family, what do you envision your family, if you want to have a family, what do you envision their experience to be? And choosing to take action on that, not shying away from being a leader, when it comes to your home, when it comes to your relationships in your home, right? um and choosing to lead with this, from this place of enlightenment and wanting the best for everybody versus I just want to control. We shine the most when we're operating from a place of authenticity, because when we're operating from a place of authenticity, we're no longer seeking for validation outside of ourselves. And so we're no longer doing things that aren't in alignment with who we are. And it allows us in return to shine more, because people who operate from authenticity naturally separate themselves from the crowd. Okay. They naturally create this aura, this mystique, because people want to know, like, how are you this way? But they don't realize, this person is just themselves, because it's so normalized to not be yourself. Okay. It's so normalized for everybody to just conform to fit in. Okay, so we have home based. Home is the harbor of the soul. It is the safest place you can be. Change your environment. So what you're learning about your fourth house as well is like, um that your environment is everything. And so sometimes you have to step up. You have to be that leader. You have to speak your truth. And you have to move away from people, places, and things that threaten that, or won't allow you to be on that truth, so that you can be more vibrant, right? Um your home should feel safe. Your home should be the one place that you can go to escape the outside pressure. If your home is not reflecting that, where can you take leadership, even if it means leaving that situation, right? And then for some of you guys, maybe this has to do with the base chakra, having to clear old programming, having to clear and rebalance your base chakra because there is some childhood wounding and trauma there that makes you feel like you don't belong. Okay. All right. So we're going to get this one last card on this fifth house energy. What lesson file number 2 is learning about the fifth house? New beginning. Surprise. Oh, this is so about the inner child, guys. I feel like you guys have a lot of trauma surrounding your base chakra, because I feel like for a lot of you guys watching this, there was something surrounding your childhood that made you feel like you had to suppress that childlike essence of yourself. And that childlike essence of yourself is that thing that tells you who and what you are, what you enjoy, what brings you joy, what gives you that sense of purpose without feeling like you're bogged down by society's expectations of you. Okay, when we're children, we don't care about that. We're just living our life. I feel like for some of you guys, you weren't even allowed that in your childhood to just be who you were. And so as an adult, you've grown to suppress that side of yourself as well. But this is going to say, to not be afraid of that childlike wonder within yourself, that part of yourself that wants to adventure, that wants to try new things, that wants to follow its heart and its passion and lust for life, right? Because it's going to, I'm sorry guys, but once you tap into that energy, it's going to lead you exactly to where you want to be deep down, the part that you've been suppressing. Okay, so let's get some messages from the ancestors. And believing in miracles. Okay, storyteller, imagination. Yeah, they want you to tap more into your imagination. Okay, and Archangel Gabriel is wanting you to tap more into your creativity or your childlike essence. Okay. Message from the ancestor, and then we'll get cards on where you are on your spiritual journey in relation to these messages. But also what I'm getting with the speeches and speaking up is like speeches and speaking, it's like standing more in your power, saying things with your chest, standing upright, spine, ability to respond. Okay. And then at the end of that, we have at the bottom of the deck, we have dream time, unlimited vision, and that's a 33. Ideas, needs manifested. If you're not connecting with your inner child, it's hard to manifest, because manifestation comes from a place of, we have to see something before we can actually work towards it. If we can't see it for ourselves, if we can't believe it, if we're not allowed to even tap into that part of our imagination to imagine more for ourselves, then it's damn near impossible to manifest anything from there. Because where is there to manifest from? You're suppressing this aspect of yourself, right? Spirit is wanting you to tap more into that childlike essence. Okay. Definitely. I feel like a lot of you guys weren't allowed to really be yourself as children or something. And it's manifested as a blockage in your adult life when it comes to manifesting a better life for yourself. Okay, so I want to see where you are spiritually, pile number 2, which is kind of like advice as well. Imagination, guys, you can't make this up, okay? And we have death. Like, there's definitely certain people, places, and things, mindsets, and beliefs and ideas about ourselves, about yourselves, pile number 2, that you need to release in order to move forward. Like, you feel like you're stuck, you can't do this, you can't do. No, it's all a frame of mind, and I feel like it's a part of you allowing other people to tell you who and what you should want. Okay. Possibility. Ask for help. Get more rest. Nurture yourself. I feel like this ask for help is Archangel Gabriel wants you to connect with him more. Archangel Gabriel is the archangel who brings, they're a messenger for humanity's messengers. So the fact that you are drawn to this reading, that means you are some sort of messenger. You are placed here to share a message with the world, with humanity, or even just the people in your community or around you. You're meant to help guide people. You're meant to be a support system for other people. With possibility here, look at this. You can't make this up. It's up to you, right? Raise your standards, elevate your expectations. You have unlimited potential. So, where you are spiritually, I feel like you guys are tapping more into this energy. Okay. Um, you're tapping more into this aspect of yourself that's been a little suppressed for some of you guys. For others of you guys, you've had a hard time trusting it, right? And I feel like where you are spiritually on your journey right now is learning to tap more into that and trust it. Some of you guys may be pushed to reach out more to people, ask for help in certain situations, maybe from people that you normally wouldn't. Okay. Maybe some of you guys are seeking spiritual advisors, or maybe you are that advisor for some people. But this is a call to, nurture yourself, especially with the retreat here. Archangel Gabriel wants you to take some time out to pull your energy back, call your power back, from all spaces and times, dimensions, and from all lifetimes, right? So that you can get clear on what it is that you are about, like who you are, versus what other people may have told you you are, you know? And I feel like exercising for some of you guys will be a good way to release this energy and cut cords if you have a lot of stuck energy. Okay, so lastly, we're going to get some magic cards here for what you're manifesting, changes coming for you. Ooh, ooh, safe and happy travel. I feel like a lot of you guys want to travel. Spirit, heavenly assistance from your angels and guides. And then we have Trinka 5, manifesting money and income. You guys may want to watch pile number 3. I think it's pile number 3. If it's even this reading in the first place, but I did get a pile where there was 3 5s, interestingly enough. But you guys are manifesting money and travel, okay? And you're manifesting assistance from your angels and guides. And I do feel like Archangel Gabriel is one of those angels for you guys, okay? But whatever you're being inspired to take action on, it's a clear message from your angels and your intuition, your higher self. So don't take it lightly, but I feel like you're going to connect to this more clearly, these messages more clearly, once you take a step back and, reflect, have some time alone. Okay. So we're going to leave it there. Pile number 2. I hope you guys did resonate with this reading. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you guys on another one. Bye. Hello, pile number 3 people, last but certainly not least. Those of you who chose this Rhodonite stone with the deserving and journaling message cards from the Archangel Gabriel, this is going to be a reading. Okay, so let's take a look into this deserving card, because this is the very first message. Okay, this is the card that you were most drawn to. You, like all of God's children, deserve happiness, health, and love. So Archangel Gabriel, right off the bat, wants to remind you that you deserve to live a happy life. Pile number 3, that you deserve to live a life that is free of constant struggle and strife. Okay. And then, secondly, this message here is journaling. Consistently writing about your feelings and activities stirs creative ideas and builds your confidence as a writer. Some of you guys could be into writing, okay, or speaking in some capacity. But nevertheless, though, writing helps with, even if you're an orator or speaker, or you have a position in society where you have to speak with a lot of people, writing helps get things flowing for you, okay? As far as communication, regardless of how that communication is having to come about or be channeled. So the Archangel Gabriel wants you guys to spend more time writing, okay? I I feel like I'm talking to some people in this pile where you may feel like you've had enough of something, especially with all of these fives here. Five is the number of change, but we specifically have the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Wands. Okay. And then we have the fifth chakra. So I do feel like you guys may be going through tough times, or you find yourself going through a lot of difficult times, maybe more often than you'd like, right? It's almost like, okay, it's one thing after the other. When is this happiness going to begin? When am I going to reap the harvest of the things that I've put my time and energy into, right? um I'm hearing life begins at the opposite end of fear. So first of all, I feel like a lot of you guys, your life purpose or something that you're meant to be doing involves using communication. And the fact that you were drawn to this reading in the first place, Archangel Gabriel is a messenger for human messengers. So he comes to specifically those human beings who are meant to have some sort of impact on humanity through way of communication, of being some sort of messenger. So it's no coincidence that you have the throat chakra here. Okay. And we have journaling. Okay. Both cards of communication. I feel like Archangel Gabriel is coming through specifically to say that whenever you have a blockage in your throat chakra, pile number 3, you're going to see a blockage in your finances or career. So wherever you're limiting yourself when it comes to speaking your truth or sharing some sort of message, you're going to see a blockage with your finances. Okay. For some of you guys, this could even be as simple as asking for a raise, asking for a promotion, or going out and seeking better opportunities for yourself, but using your voice, using um, who you are as a person, your experiences to um, receive better position in society, or better paying job, or whatever the case may be, right? um, but I feel like this throat chakra, all in all, entails you putting yourself out there in some form. Okay. For a lot of you guys watching this, you do have a knack for physicality when it comes to health routine, right? For some of you guys, you could have a career in the medical field. Okay. And you could be wanting to venture into different aspects of that, maybe integrate certain aspects with different aspects. For instance, like holistic or alternative healing with traditional methods, you know um, and if you're not in the medical field, this could be a clear indicator that your life purpose, or what's going to push you into a better phase in life, is going to be pursuing some sort of career in medicine. For some of you guys, traditional, alternative, or holistic. Okay. And when I say alternative or holistic, this could include like energy work, energy healing, herbalism, even like being a doula, or something of that sort, something that's, not as mainstream or widely accepted as like a medical doctor, right? Or a nurse, right? Um, but if you are a nurse, I could be speaking to a nurse. Okay. So maybe picking up energy work or Reiki as a side hustle would work for you, because you naturally have a knack for healing. Okay. That's something you're good at. But regardless of where you fall in this, for some of you guys, you could be into fitness. Okay. And you help people through fitness. Okay. But whatever the case may be for you, pile number 3, whatever you may be experiencing, whatever obstacles may be presenting themselves to you right now, there is a clear message from Archangel Gabriel to not stop, to keep going despite what life may be throwing at you at present. Okay. Um, they're wanting you to keep pouring into yourself, keep pouring love into yourself. Don't stop doing that. Don't slack, or lighten up on your self-care routines because you're going through a difficult time. Keep your eye on the prize. The prize is you, okay? Because you are an instrument for God's work, what God wants to will into existence through you, okay? Um, there is a strong emphasis here on you bridging the spiritual with the physical. So I feel like there is an emphasis here because 555 is a change, and that's an angel number. You guys may want to look that number up. It's interesting because we got 555 from the magic oracle cards, making magic oracle cards I have here, and the last pile, Trink of Five, manifesting money and income. So I think that's a clear message for you guys here that you are manifesting money. Okay. But you have to put yourself out there, pile number 3. Stop. If you guys are perfectionists, stop doing that. If you guys feel like you don't have time, stop doing that. Create the time. Exercise to increase your energy and manifestation abilities. The key to manifesting quickly is to have very high energy levels, and the easiest way to increase them is through physical exercise. Choose a fun and meaningful activity so that you'll look forward to exercising and it becomes its own reward. I feel like this is also because coming under this Ace of Cups, it's a way to pour into yourself, okay? Especially when you're feeling depleted, especially when you're feeling like things are not going right. As long as you can still walk, okay, you can go outside, you can take a walk. As a matter of fact, it's coming to me. I used to take walks a lot at one of my old jobs. That job just, it gave me a lot of downtime, okay? I'm missing that now at this point in my life, but I would just go outside and walk and walk and walk. And I would even take some time to meditate under a tree or in the woods sometimes. And it granted me some time to really think and put things in perspective. But all the while I was doing this, I was manifesting a better financial situation for myself. At that time I was struggling, you know, and I feel like this is a reoccurring theme through these piles. But, I eventually manifested more money, but because I'm working for a company, they pay you what they want to pay you. It doesn't matter how good or bad the economy is. It doesn't matter how expensive or inexpensive things are. What you're paid is what you're paid. So, okay, pile number 3. So, phone died, so I had to take a little break there. But anyways, I was saying before the camera cut off that, I had manifested myself into a better financial position, or I wouldn't say a better financial position. I was going to go more into why not. I was going to explain that more, but a higher paying job. It was something that I really wanted at the time that I manifested it. Okay. And so it was like a dream come true, and I did manifest it. But the only reason why I was able to manifest it is because I was in a state of pure calm, just from being able to go out and be in the elements, completely present. Okay. Taking those long walks. I was also coming up with a lot of ideas, a lot of brainstorming. I didn't realize at that time that I was actually healing myself a lot through that meditation. And if you guys don't believe in being able to make yourself more intelligent, smarter, whatever the case may be, you can do that through meditation. Okay. It's not something that happens overnight, it's something that does occur gradually. Okay. And I am a testament to that. But I was going to say how, you can, you get these higher paying jobs, whatever the case may be. But I was going to go into the fact that, while I did manifest a better paying job, right? But it's still a job. It's still, I'm working under a company, I'm working for somebody. So when the economy turns, for the worse, things get more expensive. You go through some sort of setback that costs you money, right? Your salary does not increase, or you don't have the opportunity within that business most of the times, unless, you work a sales job, or you have opportunities for overtime. But if something happens, your salary is still going to stay the same, right? And you can't change that. What they pay you is what they pay you. Versus, if you do work for yourself, if you are an entrepreneur, you have more opportunities to, hey, launch a new program. We see it a lot. I don't know if you guys pay attention, but content creators or even like people in the spotlight, when I noticed that a lot of times when people, want to increase their revenue, they want to reach that next level financially, they usually start launching new projects. They put out a new project, or they start launching new ideas and products and services and things like that to boost their revenue. When you're working for a company, you don't have that option, okay? You're pretty much stuck to either take out loans, or basically just sabotage take out all of your savings, okay? um, Eventually deplete all your savings trying to keep up with the the crazy economy, the prices of things increasing, having some sort of health setback, or where you can't go into work, or whatever the case may be. These things happen unexpectedly, but those things happening does not necessarily mean that your job is about to give you a pay increase to pay for these things that come up, right? And so you're stuck, making what you make, and that's what you make, right? And as I'm saying this, we have prosperity at the bottom of the deck, a prosperous business with riches and success. What I'm ultimately saying, and sorry, I'm trying to like follow this train of thought I had before the phone cut off, and it's kind of hard. But I did say something to the effect of like the gap between the haves and the have-nots increasing. We've seen it increase gradually over time, but now it's just getting almost drastic. And as things increase for the have-nots, things are also like the prices of things are also increasing for the people who do have money. So guess what? They're needing to make more profit. And so guess what happens then? The prices of things begin to continue to go up. And then, that gap between the haves and the have-nots continues to widen and widen and widen until it's kind of just the American dream, or the dream in general, is just out of reach for most people who are working a regular job. Now, I've been shown this, it's been given to me in prophecy, or messages and things like that, that a lot of us may want to look into finding other ways, other avenues to make money that don't necessarily have any strings attached to an entity outside of ourselves, because we cannot control that. Um, and now is a good time, if you don't have the information or the knowledge to get into certain things that can increase your income. Now would be the good time to start doing that research, to start doing that study, get those certificates to start that side hustle. I'm not saying everybody should quit their job and not work, but I'm saying, opening yourself up to more opportunities to make money through different avenues would be a smart idea. Pile number 3. Um, so, well, I'm not saying this. This is what these are the messages from Archangel Gabriel. um, I don't know if I mentioned this, but this Ace of Cups here showing up over the exercise to increase your energy and manifestation abilities. I feel like this is an act of self-love. Well, yeah, I did, because I went into me walking every day, right? So, and it's funny because I was just on my phone, while I was charging it, and I ran across this post, and it said, the frequency of money is attached to self-love. Okay. Um, Frequency of money is attached to self-love. So how well are you taking care of yourself, or how bad do you want to be able to take care of yourself? Now, for example, if you're working a job that requires a lot of your time, a lot of your energy, to the point where you don't have much left over to pour back into yourself, um, and you're wondering why things aren't changing, or you're wondering why things progressively are getting worse, it's because you're lacking that self-care, you're lacking that self-love. And because self-love is on the same vibration or frequency as money, that's where that disconnect begins to happen. That's where, we start to see that lack of manifestation. We start to see our money dwindling. We start to see a lack of opportunities coming in for us to make money. So we want to take a step back when we start getting in that energy and figure out how it is that we can pour back into ourselves. Now, I'm not saying go out here and work out um, until you can't feel your legs anymore or feel your arms anymore. You have to have moderation with that as well, because a lot of energy goes into healing the body. So unless that is your occupation, I don't think that's wise either, pile number three. But there is an emphasis here to just be mindful of your physical activity every day, and how often and how much you're pouring back into yourself after going out into the world and giving so much. Because I feel like not only are you depleting your energy, you could be in a place where your energy is beginning to deplete, but so is the finances, as a result. And I'm hearing somebody say it's almost like I just cannot get ahead. Like I just, no matter what I do, when is this pain going to subside? When are the obstacles going to subside? When am I going to get to enjoy my time? When am I going to get to enjoy my money? When is the money going to come in for me? um, and quite simply, guys, if you don't have a practice of journaling right now, you need to get in the practice of journaling. And I will say this is truth, guys. When I was journaling and walking and meditating the most, that's when opportunities just came to me almost seamlessly. I didn't have to put much effort in. The moment I stopped, like I said, money is the vibration of self love. The moment I stopped pouring into myself, it's like opportunities were harder to come by. It was harder to attract the things that I needed or wanted. Okay. So Spirit is saying, show more grace to the situation, whatever situation you're going through, and show more grace to yourself. Okay. Because in turn, you can show more grace to other people, and you're not, taking out your frustrations on them unnecessarily, unwarranted. But you are deserving of everything that you believe yourself to be worthy of. And we have to be honest. What do we find ourselves, or what do we believe ourselves to be worthy of? Because a lot of us have subconsciously accepted, um, we've subconsciously accepted not to experience much in our lives. Okay, we've subconsciously been programmed to accept the bare minimum, to struggle, to do what needs to be done traditionally. It's always been done this way. It's what's worked in the past is slowly, I'm not sure if you guys are paying attention, but it's slowly becoming just not the norm anymore, because it can't be. Okay. A lot of people are starting to wake up. They're starting to question things. Okay. um how can I put this? I feel like a lot of people are beginning to arrive at that point of discomfort, and that discomfort is driving a lot of anger at the system, and this anger is causing people, or is a result of people questioning things due to being placed in uncomfortable situations. Like, this can't be right. I'm going through all of this, and these institutions are kind of making it worse. And it's like, why have we constructed institutions that make our lives harder? you know People are starting to question these things, whereas in the past, our parents, they graduated high school and they were able to get decent paying jobs, enough to support their families and live a decent life. um and if you went to college, that was a guarantee to make more money than the average person, almost. Right now, it's like, I'm getting like such a frustrated energy in this pile. Maybe you guys are just very frustrated with the way the system is right now. Because the more I'm talking about the system, I'm just getting this frustration. But now it's like, you go to school just to get an average paying job, or sometimes not even enough to make ends meet, right? And, forget you graduate college and you don't go to school. If you don't get some sort of trade, you're almost setting yourself up to not be able to make it in life, unless you do other things. I'm not saying that's a definite for everybody, but you see what I'm saying, how times have slowly just progressed to just pure, just nonsense. These things don't make sense, you know. um why are we paying $50,000 upwards for degrees, and we can't even land a position paying us 50 grand a year? And the cost of living, in order to make a living now, you have to average a salary of $100,000 to not struggle yet. And that's not even factoring in the debt that you have to pay back to get that degree, right? It's frustrating. I get it. Pile number three, if this is something you're experiencing right now. But spirit is trying to wean you off of, it's like a baby being weaned off of its mother's bosom, right? um Spirit is trying to wean you off of the system. It's like, yeah, it's right to be angry, but how can we, or how can you, pile number three, rely less on these institutions, these companies, these corporations to make your life easy, when it's been shown, they don't really care about the people they hire to run their businesses. They don't. Okay, that's just the hard, honest truth. A lot of them don't care. As long as their bottom line is being met, they don't care about the people they have running these companies in a lot of cases, in most cases, right? So, how can we break the cycle? How can we break ourselves free of this system, whatever that looks like to you? Because it's going to look different to everybody. For some people, it's making more money. For some people, it may be leaving the country to a better, something that they perceive to be better for them in their lifestyle, right? Some people, it could be living off the grid, just cutting ties completely and saying, screw this. For others, it may be, taking a better paying job, putting your skills and your knowledge, your expertise to use, and using it to increase or find a job that actually appreciates and values what you have to bring to the table, versus being a number in a company that does not appreciate or value what you bring to the table. And it's reflected in your pay. That self-love, okay, it's reflected in the money. The more you begin to establish, like, this is what I'm worth, this is what I'll settle for, this is what I will not settle for, the more our external environment begins to reflect that. And I know sometimes it gets hard, pile number three, especially when you're going through things and you feel like you don't have the time, you don't have the energy, and you're continuously pouring into all of these cups and you find yourself depleted. You have to find the time. um, and I feel like whatever you're doing now, it is going to pay off. Okay. I know you guys are maybe growing impatient, for some of you guys, especially if you put a lot of money into something and you haven't seen a return on that investment yet, or you're putting a lot of time into a job and it's just not paying you what you feel like you are worth. um, if you are doing that and you're working on something on the side, okay, you're going to school on the side, or you're getting some sort of certificate, or you're developing some sort of skill or talent, or you're doing something online with content creating, or you're an artist, whatever the case may be for you, what you do on the side in addition to a regular 9 to 5, keep going at that, because that is your ticket out. Okay, that is your ticket out of the rat race. And victory is yours. Understand that, pile number three. Your efforts have not gone in vain. The universe sees you. The universe is supporting you, even when it doesn't look like it. Okay. But you're going to see the most blessings in your life, financially, emotionally, mentally, when you start living more in your truth and you start aligning yourself more with your life purpose, which includes or involves some sort of healing work. Okay. And when I say healing work, it does not necessarily have to be a nurse, a doctor, or even like an energy worker or a medium or psychic or anything like that. It doesn't have to be spiritual in nature physically on the surface, but it could even just be putting your energy into something that provides healing for people indirectly. For example, say you are a teacher, and you love teaching, you love your job, but you feel like, you're underpaid. Um, Maybe creating some sort of avenue outside of, what you do every day, showing up for work, maybe creating programs online for people. And it may not have anything to do with regular academia. It could have something to do with maybe you've discovered something about learning, how to make learning easier. Maybe you can create programs for teachers, and that way you're indirectly still teaching, but you're able to reach more people and maybe create change within the educational system that way, right? If you are some sort of say you are a chef, right? Food is our medicine, so maybe going down an avenue of, incorporating more holistic foods and creating certain diets or, you know, recipes that the average person can use, average people who may be in the same cycle, and maybe you're learning something in this cycle if that is your calling, right? How can I be healthy and still juggle all of these things? Maybe your calling is to learn how to do that so that you can teach other people how to do that. Okay. um as far as like eating healthy or even fitness and things like that. um Ooh, that's definitely coming through for some of you guys. If you're into like fitness or nutrition, cooking or anything like that, and you're having to balance living a healthy lifestyle with not having very much resources and or time, you're meant to like maybe go and create a platform where you're able to inspire other people who may be going through the same thing. Okay. And guiding people or showing people how you've been able to do it. Okay. Regardless of your path, there is a clear indicator here that you're supposed to use your struggles to help and create change for other people. Okay. Through inspiration, through sharing your own story. And I feel like that's where that journaling comes through. Okay. But I feel like some of you guys, you need to write down the things you've been through and you've overcome, or what you're trying to overcome now, or how you're even just balancing all of it. Just write it all out, get it all out there. Okay. And I feel like this is going to help with that frustration if you've been frustrated. All right. So we have a lot of fives out here, and then we have the 10, which reduces to a one. I want to see, what lesson you're learning around the fifth house and the first house. We have two ones, and the 11th house. Okay, so fifth house lesson, we have public face. Follow your heart and become who you want to be. Earn a reputation. It's okay to be yourself. So much like the other piles, there's definitely an energy around, especially with celebration here. I feel like there's a lesson around, maybe some of you guys may have been too much in your inner child, reluctant to, grow up and establish certain plans. So maybe you've missed out, or you missed the boat on certain milestones, or you perceive yourself to have. And I feel, but this is all a part of your life path. It's all a part of your dharma and karma in this lifetime. So you're at a point now where you're having to look back on all of the decisions you've made thus far and how they've contributed to the situation you may find yourself in, whether it's negatively or positively, and how you can redirect or course correct going forward if it's negative, right? But also, there is this energy. Some of you guys may have faced something in your childhood when it comes to how you perceive yourself. So this could have been bullying, or just not fitting in or not feeling like you fit in, which kind of impacted the way you see yourself as an adult, which created this fear of being seen. Okay, for some of you guys. Okay, now let's take a look at the first house. Some of you guys may have grown up not being that popular person. So to be an adult that grows up to be that popular adult, which means so much more than it does in high school or middle school. It's kind of like, for some of you guys, it may feel like imposter syndrome. Like, maybe I really am not that cool. Those kids were right. So for the first house lessons, we have foresight. Pay attention to things that are important to ensure wealth. And I feel like that's that hindsight is 2020. Just because you've made quote unquote poor decisions in your past that have led you to this point now where you're in some sort of crossroads or experiencing some sort of difficulty does not mean that has to be the trajectory for your future. You can learn from those mistakes and say, hey, for some of you guys, it's like, I was hearing like maybe you didn't finish school, maybe you need to go back to school, you feel like that's the reason why you're in the position now, or you need to learn some sort of trade or a skill, or maybe investing more into a skill you already have, or a talent that you already have in order to change this situation for yourself. You have the power to take control of your life, career, and finances. So there is definitely, I feel like it's not completely your fault. This is something you've inherited. So when you were born, you already had this subconscious belief, or these subconscious, what's been wired in your DNA regarding finances, money, and wealth. Okay. Um, the thing about it though, this is a gift, pile number three. I don't care what you've been through in life, I don't care where you're at right now. The thing about it, maybe you did not take wealth seriously. You didn't take money seriously throughout your life because you haven't been surrounded by, or you didn't come from a family that did, right? And so all of this is new to you. But the thing about it is you're able to recognize this in this lifetime so that you can change this for generations to come. You can be that change in your family and your lineage that decides, we're not going to be poor anymore. We're not going to, even if it's not poor, we're not going to worry about money anymore. We're not going to go through all of these obstacles and challenges. And I feel like whatever these obstacles and challenges are, it's kind of like self-fulfilling prophecies. And I feel like it's gone on generation after generation. Okay. Well, let's see the 11th house. But the first house has to do with our expression, how we see ourselves. And this has come up a lot in my readings, my collective, my pickup card readings lately, where it's like spirit is calling you to reassess how it is you perceive yourself in relation to money and wealth and finances. Let's take a look at your lesson surrounding the 11th house. Which is ruled by Aquarius. So your life, guys, your life is not going to look, your path to success is not going to look like everybody else's. So for those of you guys who feel insecure about your educational level, understand it may not have been meant for you to follow that route. Okay, maybe you're meant to get your degree at the age of 50 or 60 or something, after you've traveled the world, after you've made the money, and it's kind of just like excess, and it's like, oh, I always want to learn this or have this type of degree, and you have the money to spend it. Maybe that's your path more so than maybe taking out a huge loan and going into debt, or even, I don't know. Just don't look at your life as like a mistake. Pile number three is what I'm getting here, because your path to success is not going to look like everybody else's. Okay. um and that's why you did not fit in. Okay. Resources, be grateful for what you have and save something for the future. Use wisely and as needed. Moving up, career is on the rise, new offers and opportunities. Salary increase, go to the next level. I feel like you're the type of people to take people by surprise, or take things by storm, if that makes sense. um just because you're somebody who has not followed the traditional path, yet you are somebody very efficient and able to, I just feel like you guys are very intelligent in this pile, and I feel like that takes a lot of people by surprise, especially your ability to articulate once you step fully into your power and you stop being afraid of being seen. um, there's a lot of important information you have to share with other people. And I feel like once you get over these blockages, these obstacles, which are mostly caused by these subconscious fears you have around money, wealth, finances, being seen, um, you're going to step more into this energy of attracting everything you want. Okay, pile number three. Um, it's not as hard as it may feel like to you right now, but that's because you haven't gotten the ball rolling yet, per se. But once you do, um, you're going to be very surprised. I feel like you guys are natural born leaders in this pile. People look up to you more than you may want to believe, and that's due to some sort of karma when it comes to how you perceive yourself. Okay. um Money is going to flow to you in unconventional ways. Take that how you will, but don't feel like I have to make money this way, or I have to make a certain amount of money, or I can only make money through working for a corporation or a company or for the government, or whatever the case may be. because that's not how you're going to acquire your wealth, your money. Pile number 3. Okay, so I want to get some messages from the ancestors regarding Archangel Gabriel's message to you, pile number 3. And it's funny, I keep saying that your rise to success is unconventional. The way you make your money is unconventional. Your life purpose fully supports you. So because that's showing out here, I feel like there's something about you guys feeling insecure about your ability to acquire wealth or make money because of something you perceive yourself to lack. Okay. I did not graduate high school. I did not graduate a university. I did not go to um I did not get a master's degree or a PhD or whatever the case may be, a doctorate. Um and therefore, my options to money are very limited because of that. You don't have to adopt that mentality, or even if it's like I didn't come from a family of money, so there's no way I'll ever be able to acquire wealth in my lifetime, because it's never been a thing for people who look like me. If it's like a racial thing or an ethnicity thing, um, whatever the case may be, I feel like whatever it is you're naturally gifted at, it's something that's alternative. It's not something that's fully accepted into the mainstream quite yet. And so that also adds to it. It's like I don't have a degree. I didn't graduate high school. I didn't come from a wealthy family. My family are not, I didn't come from an educated family. Um, and then I have these gifts that are different. They're not widely accepted just yet. Or even if you are like a nurse or a doctor, it's like I work in a field where this spirituality and God and this talk of this stuff is just not accepted. So how am I going to make wealth in that if it's not something mainstream, right? But the moment you overcome that fear, because I feel like it's very subconscious and it's guiding your actions without you even realizing, okay? Once you overcome that, you're going to unlock yourself to receiving a lot of abundance. And I feel like a lot of this abundance is going to come unexpected as well. Listen, because you're going to make something mainstream by your approach to it. And I'm hearing the proof is in the pudding. So you guys are going to be changing lives to the point where people cannot negate your abilities or this belief in God that you have, or spirituality, whatever it is that you do that's unconventional. For example, if you're acupuncture, even, it started somewhere where people were like, oh, it's just woo woo, right? People didn't believe in it. Reiki, energy healing. If you're an energy healer, there is a time where people are like, that's, I don't believe in that. What is that? um, Basically making fun of it. If you're a doctor, an MD, a nurse, or somebody in the medical field, or even fitness and health and nutrition, people are like, what does that have to do with anything? Um, there are actually studies on energy healing. So maybe there may be some research that you need to do to incorporate into your practice or incorporate into your business, or I'm hearing your message. So your advertising, that's where that journaling comes in. Maybe there's something you need to incorporate from the scientific world into your messaging, okay, when it comes to this alternative work that you do, okay? And those are just examples. Of course, apply it where it needs to fit, but I feel like there's a spiritual aspect to something that you're doing that you feel like subconsciously is not going to be accepted. And because you've already accepted that, and the fact that you may lack some sort of formal education when it comes to something, that you can't have wealth, you can't have riches. And that's the furthest from the truth, because literally your key to success, what's going to bring you in the most money in this lifetime, is your spiritual aspect, the spiritual aspect you're bringing into something. Okay, so let's get some messages from the ancestors. Talking stick, viewpoints and options. And it's crazy, I'm using this shamanistic deck here. It's of Native American culture, but it's crazy I'm using that because people are starting to revisit a lot of the Native American customs and belief systems, and it's looking more, it's making more sense than a lot of stuff that we've accepted to be true today, in Western culture. So I feel like I have to say this, pile number three, you're just ahead of your time. But just because you're ahead of your time does not mean that you just take a step back and accept defeat. Force your way in this world, make your place in this world. And now is easier than ever to do it because we're in the age of Aquarius. Everybody has a cell phone, everybody has access to social media, or most of the world does. So picking up that phone, pressing record, and sharing your opinion on something could be the thing that changes your life, to be honest. Viewpoints and options. It's crazy. I didn't even see that when I said that. Sharing your viewpoint about something, the talking stick. Um, you have a lot to share, okay? You just have to believe that you are worthy of success. You are worthy of a good life. You are worthy of money and access to money and wealth, okay? Let's get some more messages from the ancestors. And not only is this like, you guys are super blessed because the fact that you're able to acquire wealth and money and live a decent life just based on these gifts that are giving back to humanity and making other people's lives better is awesome. Pile number three, it's underrated. Rebel, I told you you are not here to assume someone else's identity and conform to society and conform to what's already been established. You're here to shake up the establishment. You're here to create change. You're here to get people thinking differently, okay? And look at this. We have magician at the bottom of the deck. Conjuring. I'm speaking to mystics, shamans, spiritual people here. People who see the unseen, celestial, boundless. And as I'm saying that, I'm drawn back to this administrative power. I'm not sure I tapped into this, but I walk with a foot in both the earthly and spiritual worlds. Oh my gosh, that's confirmation, y'all. Because I literally said there's something about you bridging, adding a spiritual aspect to something here. You're like a bridge, a conduit. Um, yeah, so you're practical, grounded, persevering, wise, dedicated, strong, purposeful, leading, organized, structured, confident, strategic, assertive, disciplined, humanistic, and more. But like I told pile number one, you may want to look more into working with the energy of Saturn. Saturn does rule Saturday, so maybe Saturday is a significant day for you when it comes to brainstorming. I'm hearing, and or like this journaling energy. Maybe it's where you need to do most of your work. Oh, breaking bad habits, self acceptance, excellent mental health, and letting go of vices. So, some of you guys will benefit working with Saturn, especially if you have like bad habits or vices that are distracting you from getting things done. Okay. Okay. So, where is pile number three spiritually when it comes to this message? Archangel Gabriel. Compassion. Be gentle with yourself. Forgiveness will set you free. See the light in yourself and others. So I get like a strong emphasis on just letting things go. Um, don't hold on tightly to anything at this time because I feel like you're definitely going through a transitional period in your life where it seems like things are falling apart, but they're only falling apart to open you up to this change that spirit is wanting to usher into your life, these new perspectives, these new ideas. And also for some of you guys, it's like a push forward to do more when it comes to your life purpose. Prosperity, a gift of money is on its way. Your income is increasing. Manage your finances with love. Expansion. So, like I said, this is just reiterating number one, self-love is on the same frequency as money. When I was loving myself, pouring into myself at the most, that's when things were just attracting themselves to me. Nothing changed, but the energy I was giving to myself when I shifted from that to experiencing seemingly challenge after challenge. I wasn't loving myself. When I noticed that when I'm not pouring into myself, that's when I experience the most challenges. Okay. Um, but like I said, you may be at a time, it's transitional, where you're going through a lot and it seems like things are falling apart and things are not working, but it's serving as some sort of lesson number one, to it's pushing you to go more into your purpose, pile number three, especially if this is like a financial bind and you're trying to figure out a way to make money quick, fast, in a hurry because you're unhappy with your financial situation. I feel like it's, even if you're like comfortable, it may be a situation where it's like, I just cannot keep living the same life. So spirit is just making things uncomfortable for you because it's a push into the direction they're wanting you to go. And I feel like this is relating a lot to like pile number one. So you may get additional messages there, but spirit is wanting you to let go of certain things, let go of the outcome, okay? And just do what you feel guided to do. And what's removed from your life was meant to be removed from your life because it's meant to clear up the space for more prosperity to enter through way of you finally stepping into your purpose and not being bound to one person, place, or thing, a job, a career field, right? Spirit is wanting you to expand your horizons. And you don't have to be stuck, because I feel like I'm speaking to very talented people here, very skilled, very intelligent. You're capable of pretty much anything you set your mind to. So the fact that you may be, doubting yourself because of your background, whatever your background may be, is just nonsense, okay? Um, be true to you, pile number three. I don't care what it looks like or what you think it's going to look like to other people. What you have to offer is very important to humankind, okay? And we have rebirths. Like I said, you're going through a transitional time in your life, pile number three. It may feel uncomfortable. It may feel, you may feel uncertain about things, right? For some of you guys, you may not even know where your next meal is coming from, where your next paycheck is coming from. It's that, uncertain or unknown for you. But you're going through a time where spirit is working on you, okay? Because you're about to transition into this more prosperous phase of your life. But you have to do the work, okay? And I feel like that's Archangel Gabriel's message to you, is to do the shadow work. Allow this time to self-reflect on things that have not worked for you. What can you learn from your previous experiences and the karma that you've received from those experiences, good or bad? And keep moving forward. Do not stop, because the finish line is right there. Archangel Gabriel is telling you the finish line is right there. Just keep going, keep pushing, keep pouring into yourself. Do those exercises, okay? Get that energy flowing. If you need to take walks, I highly recommend this pile take walks if you're able to. If you're not, say you're maybe bound to a wheelchair or something, or you may be on crutches, I don't know. Do the mental exercises, meditation. You're about to receive a lot of blessings, pile number three, and I feel like it's long awaited and it's well deserved, okay? And spirit wants you to remember that when it finally comes in for you, but not just when it comes in, but while you're working towards it. Keep in mind, I'm doing this because I deserve to live a better life, okay? And in the process, you're also helping so many other people, believe it or not. So screw the naysayers, screw what's been accepted in the mainstream. You're going to impact and inspire a lot of people very positively, and you're going to receive a lot of wealth and financial abundance as a result, as a direct consequence of that, okay? Okay, so we're just going to get a couple witchy messages here, and then we're going to close out the reading. Where is pile number two or three spiritually? Or like, what is pile number three manifesting? I apologize. Prosperity. Oh my goodness, you can't make it up. We literally got prosperity with the unicorn. One enchanted evening, the perfect night, mystic star, harmony in the home, and great friendships. So you guys are manifesting people in your life who are more in alignment with who you are. The more you stand in your truth and empower yourself, okay? Boundaries. Oh no. Spiritually, where is pile number 3 when it comes to this message you want them to receive, Archangel Gabriel? Yeah, maintain that balance, but you're also in the energy of autumn. Like I said, things may be dying around you, or they certainly have the feeling of dying or ending, right? Spirit is wanting you to keep your balance. Don't fret. Remember that all of this is in divine alignment. This is all the plan, whether it's good or bad. The bad, you're meant to learn from it, and this bad you're using to help heal other people and inspire other people. So look at it that way rather than woe is me, the universe hates me, God hates me. No, 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 no. You're going through a trial because this trial is part of your testimony, and your testimony is meant to help and heal other people. So keep your balance. This life is not meant to be easy, pile number 3, and you're meant to be a leader, a teacher, to help other people get through dark times as well. But you wouldn't be able to do that if you didn't go through it yourself. So we're in a paradigm shift, pile number 3. I want you guys to remember that. Though things may look bleak and grim on the outside, humanity is going through a major shift. Okay. And you are here to be a leader, a thought leader, a progressive. Okay. You're meant to put your ideas into the algorithm. Okay. And I'm hearing plant your seed and watch it grow. So you're planting your seed in the algorithm and you're sparking minds. Okay. What did Tupac say? I may not change the world, but I will spark the mind that does it. So this is like paying it forward. All the leaders that we've had and learned from, directly or indirectly, and we're passing that, what we've learned, what we've been able to take from and apply to our lives, to other people, and the cycle continues. And eventually, there will be a bright, better tomorrow for everyone, for humanity as a whole, as we drive out, the Luciferian regime or reign on this planet. Um, Not to offend anybody, but if you do your little research there, but it's deep. But there's definitely been a hold on humanity by the darkness, and you guys are meant to help drive that out. And as I'm saying that, there's the death card. Okay, so pile number 3, we are going to leave your reading there. If you guys resonated with it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you guys on another one. Bye.